given the crisis, especially given the crisis, there is a problem with lowest price and awards to the lowest price. With the new legislation, there will be a possibility of adding other criteria than the price only. So, which means that public contracting authorities can now also go in the quality direction, which means that they can add other criteria in the tender, such as life cycle costing, for example, and other environmental criteria. So there is much more scope for putting emphasis on quality. There was a need for simplification and for more flexibility in procurement. That is one. Secondly, there was also a need for quality elements in procurement, and as the legislation stood, there was no obligation whatsoever to consider quality criteria in a tender. So now there is scope, and we believe it's going in the right direction. A public officer always needs to justify himself, and if he opts for the lowest price, well, he can't be criticized and he's accountable. If he were to choose for something more than the lowest price, well, then it's subjective, and you can always criticize it and reject it. So I think there was definitely a need, yes, to bring that into the scope of public procurement in a clear and univocal way. In principle, that should be in 2016, in May 2016. But we all know that many member states have backlogs in transposing the European directive into national legislation, and I know a lot of countries, and you can follow the degree of transposition of that European legislation in national legislation in the European barometer, which actually measures the pace and the degree to which European legislation is transposed at national level.